Hey YouTube, if you guys are wondering what I do when I'm not playing Rocket League, which is almost never, I don't really play the game anymore, I mostly just watch it and make the YouTube videos, but in my free time I like to play other games, and I'm just going to use this channel to do that kind of stuff that I like to do. So one of those things I like to do is I like to play mini Motorways. In fact, you maybe have heard me talk about it on stream. I'm going to get right into a game. We're going to have to start a new city because I just started one a moment ago, but I want to show you guys a brand new one. So this is a game that is fairly simple. The idea is to connect the houses that you see right here to the destinations, maybe the shopping malls. I don't know, maybe that's what we want to call them. But in order to pick up those pins and bring them back to their home, that is your score. So it's fairly simple. You draw on the map in order to connect roads on the grid. So I'm just going to be dropping a few here as an example, and you saw me drop them as the game started to connect this one house to this one mall. So throughout the game, as it goes on, more houses will spawn and more malls will spawn, in which we need to get more pins. So the idea is to make a very efficient roadway system from the houses to the malls such that there's never any traffic jams and you can go on for a long time. Now, how you lose is the pins in the malls that you see appearing slowly, they start to accrue. If you don't have a car driving to pick them up, then eventually they will reach a timer and end the game. So you have to be constantly efficient while this game's going on. So I played this game a little bit. I played this little game a little bit already coming into this. You guys could tell I'm not completely new to it. And there's a few strategies. One of the main strategies that I like to use is I like to not cross over the colors as much as possible. So as you can see, I can also draw and delete any roads that I've already made. And then at the end of every week, you get an opportunity to upgrade your arsenal. We've got our roads right here. We have a bridge that the game gave us by default. And between traffic lights and roundabouts, we're going to add a roundabout to the list. And you'll see that show up here on the bottom segment of all the things that we can use. So with time, things are going to get more and more confusing here. We're finally going to have to use one of those bridges, and I am just going to connect this yellow house into this yellow system. It's not ideal to have multiple yellow houses serving multiple malls. I've noticed in general that the best scores come from when you can get as many isolated systems as possible, which means, like, for example, right here, we don't have a bridge. See, this is going to be bad news. In fact, I'm actually going to just steal this bridge back from this yellow, because I don't think these yellow malls necessarily need help from this guy just yet. So I'm going to steal it back. I'm going to put it on this red, and I'm going to have him just directly go to this mall. This is a really short road, so there's a good chance that this mall won't need any more houses anytime soon, which is really nice. We can maybe forget about what's going on down in this bottom area. This mall has 2 houses servicing it, and this is a little bit of trouble. I don't know if 1 for 1 with how big this situation is can be handled. We just wanted a bridge before, so I'm going to get a bridge back. I'll put one right here for now. I don't think we need it. In fact, I'm going to take it right back because we just have a new colored spawn. So as you guys can see, obviously I might not have mentioned it, but you probably implicitly understood the red houses need to go to the red malls, the yellow houses need to go to the yellow malls, etc., etc. And slowly the game will introduce more colors and more malls, even of the same colors that have already been introduced. You got to keep the system going. So what I'm shooting to do is get a top 10% score on every single game mode. I've done a decent job at getting close to that already, but we're going to start again from the beginning for the sake of YouTube videos, if I do end up uploading any more YouTube videos of me playing mini Motorways. I love this kind of stuff, man. I love this game. Guaranteed not to rage during it, so it's a beauty. And maybe as an engineer, I think it's fun. I don't know if it's going to translate to a lot of the stuff that you know, Rocket League gamers like, but hey, we're gonna go ahead and try it. All right, so now we get a bit of a puzzle. We can press spacebar to pause the game while we try and figure out what we're gonna do with this puzzle, which is that we need to get these reds over to these malls, but we don't have another bridge. So I think actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this red, move him on to this bridge, and then connect this across. So now we have these two houses on these two malls. Is it ideal? No. But we'll give him a third guy as well. So all three of these guys will be handling these two. And then we'll take these two new reds that have spawned up here, and we'll have those handle this guy. So I think that's good. We could probably start the timer up again. We don't have a bridge to help these yellow guys out yet. Maybe we will in the future. Maybe we'll connect those yellows through. But this brings us to another important point. Motorways. Motorways in this game are OP. We haven't really used the roundabout, so we haven't talked about it much yet. But motorways are nasty. They can basically drop from one point to any other point on the map a road that goes over the top of everything, so that you don't have to really worry about all the you know, crossing over of different colors and things getting in the way, taking long routes. It's great. And usually the game knows what they're doing. They give you a motorway, and then they instantly give you a reason to use the motorway. So I have a feeling we will see maybe a huge color spawn, like a color right here in the bottom right, and a super far away color to go to. So they did almost require a motorway here. I'm going to try and get away with not using the motorway just yet, because it is such a precious commodity. This guy has a long way to go, but we're going to let him run it for now. As long as he's not in trouble, we're going to try and save the motorway. So he's got 3 guys servicing 1, so the fact that he's far away maybe isn't that big a deal. If we're talking about things that are maybe worrisome right now, it's probably these yellows only having 1 and these reds servicing 2. So this is maybe an example of a time I want to use the motorway. Do we have a bridge? No, so we don't have a bridge to go on the outside of this water here. This is probably the best way, but I don't think it's worth sacrificing either one of these bridges. So for now, we might just drop a motorway between these two guys to this house just to handle this. We might not keep it here forever. If we get a bridge, we might connect a bridge and just have a bridge replace that. But for now, I think we're gonna have a motorway connect these two, keeping in mind that that's a pretty temporary motorway. I don't think I ever really used traffic lights. I'll be honest. I think they're kind of underpowered, is my understanding. So I am just gonna pick up roundabouts. In fact, yeah, if we could, I would maybe drop a roundabout right there. It does seem like there's a little bit of congestion for these reds, but nothing too crazy to worry about just yet. So I do have the game in speed up mode, by the way, right now, in case you were wondering if there's any way to make it go faster. It is. We're going at double speed. So trying to decide what we need to worry on. Looks like the game's not really going to throw any new stuff at us here for a bit. You can see the map slowly extends and pushes past the normal area that we started in. We started right down here with just this straight yellow line, and we've expanded out much farther. So here we're starting to get in danger. So what just happened is this yellow guy updated to a circle mall. They're all just malls to me. But a circle mall is basically indicating that it's going to need more help taking off all the pins. So there's going to be a lot more pins showing up at this, so it needs to have more cars servicing it. And we don't have a bridge yet to really handle that. So I'm kind of worried that for now, we are probably going to have to use this blue bridge just to get over the top of this and connect these guys in. So this is far from ideal. But it's something that we'll just have to live with for now. If we come up with a motorway, we might want to replace how we're doing it with these yellows. And in fact, we might have to make it even uglier and have the greens pop out from here. Do we have a... Oh, we don't have a bridge. We are in big trouble all of a sudden. We have to buy a bridge back from somewhere. I don't think we can afford to do the reds, but we might be able to afford to do this. This is ugly, but we don't really have a choice. We need the bridge back bad, and we might do something like this to help the yellows out. So the yellows are taking a real long way, but we can't, we cannot afford to have the greens just completely die out. So I think every Sunday, at the end of Sunday on the next spin through, we're going to get another upgrade. We're thinking to get these yellows out of this terrible path. Okay, so we got a new bridge. I think the first thing I want to do is get my motorway back. So I'm going to have these guys be a bridge instead. So connect this dude from a bridge. And because of the kind of a buggy system with motorways, you have to do some weird connections when you're deleting them. But once it's gone, we can just make a direct connection there. So now we have a motorway. I think it's pretty much a no-brainer to drop a motorway from these yellows, which are taking an extremely long trip, directly into their destination. And now we will just leave these two yellows in their own little isolated system, which isolated systems in general are better. So I think I like this. It'd be nice if we had another bridge so we could put the light blues back to where they were before. Right now they have to take a little bit of a trip into the dark blues. And in fact, it doesn't really make sense to do that. I'm not sure why I did. So we'll have the dark blues, you know, not touch the path for the light blues, because there's really just no reason at all to have them connected. So yeah, I think we're good. I think this is where we're at right now. Nothing to feel too bad about. These light blues are not ideal. The reds are going to need some more help. So where can we get that from? Is there a way that we can have these reds somehow... We got this guy a little trapped in here. I'm not sure how we can get him out. Let's see. What can we do? We might just have to accept it. You know, I really don't want to cross systems, but every once in a while, you do just seem to have to accept it. So we will have the reds going through here for now. In fact, anytime you do have to accept what feels like a terrible combination situation, the best thing to do is drop one of your roundabouts. So this is the first time we're using a roundabout to handle what is some serious congestion around this spot. I don't like it. I'm pretty worried about it as the thing that could end up losing us the game. But, you know, I'm not sure I really have another choice right now. Maybe once we get another motorway, we delete this and we find a way to get these reds straight to their circle dangerous destination. In the meantime, as these yellows spawn, we can connect them in. Maybe connect this green in as well. We can move this. This is a little bit risky. I'm doing it on the fly, but we can move this and make it so that our greens don't combine with the reds anymore. And that is always a really good idea. All right, motorway. We're guaranteed to grab a motorway. We always want to get a motorway when we have the opportunity to. We may need a bridge or something here. It's probably time to do our best to break this up. In fact, I think this is a pretty worthy motorway situation where we will drop these three guys in and reconnect this blue in as fast a path as possible. So I feel pretty good about that now. I would prefer this to be a straight bridge. Is it worth deleting the bridge to do so? It just probably isn't, because all the cars stop going while there's not a full path, which means they'll all sit and wait and for it to fully delete, and then I can recreate it. And during that time, it just backs up to the point where it's probably not worth just the slight cut of a better angle that we would get from letting that delete. So keep on going. Now, this is not the end of the world. This one guy can probably service this for a while, and I can give him a second. He really needs it. But I don't think he will. I think 3, considering how far these guys have to run, is probably the right idea. And we could maybe even consider something like this, considering it's just a box and not a circle. And we can actually combine here and see if those two guys can get away with servicing that. All right, we have another yellow box down here. So what do we want to do with that? We have a ton of these yellows servicing this circle. This guy surprisingly doesn't need anything else yet because these guys are so close. We might just have to combine maybe two of these yellows will combine with the greens and come down here, which, you know, like we said, we try and avoid combining the greens or combining any colors like it's the end of the world, because it usually is. It usually is the end of the world. Man, so many additional yellows. I don't even know what to do with all these yellows they're giving me. I do have another motorway. We think we see anything that's very troublesome, we can drop a motorway. Right now, I'm not too worried. You know, it's a good idea to keep a little eye on what stuff is piling up on the pins. So right now, I'd say this yellow piling up a bit on the pins, and this red piling up a bit on the pins, but not too bad. This guy just upgraded to a circle, but they're going to give us some more connections to make there. So we aren't too worried about it. We have a good collection of yellows if we ever need some panic yellows. I can connect these blues. It doesn't even seem like the scheduling algorithm will ever actually schedule them, but we'll put them in there anyways. Where does that leave us? All right, we want a bridge. We definitely want a bridge over traffic lights, and maybe we'll take this as our opportunity to connect these guys with the bridge. Maybe we'll find another reason to have a bridge back. More than that, but I kind of like this for now. I wish there was a way to get this red back in here. I feel like we're going to need more reds, and don't have a way to get them right now. Oh, look at that. Give us another red. We love to see that. All right, calm before the storm. Something crazy is going to be thrown at us. We could put roads in here if we want to try and prevent stuff from spawning right in the center, which could be a good idea. We don't really want to deal with something that could show up right in the center there. And we're going to just change these blues to be directly connected. Oh, that's great. We can use that. That's a nice quick connection. But you see, every single one of these houses doesn't have a car in its garage, which is not good. It means all of them have been scheduled out to make it to their destination. And that's when you know you're a little bit in trouble. You're doing good as long as you don't need, or as long as there's no cars in, or at least one house that has a couple cars in their garage. If that's the case, then you know that things are going well. I think we're going to drop a motorway here for these guys. They're taking just a little bit too long to get to their destination, and we can't really afford that. It also allows me to connect this red here. These guys just need to get there faster because it's really filling up. Tons and tons of yellows. So we got a brand new light blue here. Not really sure how to handle this light blue. We might delete this motorway for now because I just kind of threw that there as a panic. A panic to get this light blue back in order. I think it is in order now. So we'll let that despawn and we'll make it the connection for this light blue up here. And we're going to remove the greens so that these guys do not cross over. So now these three have their own self-service on this light blue. Even though those ticked up for a bit while we weren't touching them, I don't think that'll be an issue. This green, we got to remember that these greens can help in a panic situation over here if need be. We're not as worried about those spawning anymore. This guy's gonna need more yellows. It's just the reality of it. We're not gonna be able to do this with just the yellows we have. So we might do something like this. Connect yellows here and connect yellows here. I feel like those have an efficient path to join in. And then we will take maybe one, maybe two yellows from this previous system, but we feel like we've upgraded them with some more. Let's even drop a roundabout here for good measure so that as these come onto the freeway, nobody's getting blocked up. It's just nice and free flowing. I'd love to fit a roundabout right in the center here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I'm trying to accept the fact that this will be a little bit of a slow spot, and it is maybe our most dangerous spot right now, so something to keep in mind. We love to stack the roundabouts over the traffic lights. No reason to get the traffic lights. Okay, that is screaming motorway to me. This is absolutely screaming motorway. They dropped a green all the way on the other side of the map, and I'm not really sure how to get around it. So I think what we'll do is it's time to give up on this fairly long path we have for the greens. We'll let these two guys service this green so that this super long path can be over. And we'll just have to share with the blues. I think there's really no better way. And it's a bit of a long run for these two greens, but I think that's all we really can afford to do. So they will take their long run and they will share it slightly with these blues as they try and join in. They just really hooked us up with a bunch of greens to handle that. They felt bad about putting us in that situation. So we'll deck them all out and we'll make this blue connect there so there's less connections. You can see the cars kind of slow down wherever there is a intersection, so it's best if we just prevent those as much as possible. They are upgrading this green guy, so I'm gonna feed a couple greens in to make it more possible. Ooh, this was sneakily dying out, so I'm gonna take a few of the blues that aren't being used to connect this guy, just put them all here. I think these guys should be able to handle it pretty easily because since all the cars were in the garage, they were able to service it right away. But this is dangerous. This is the bar you see when the game is going to end. If that gets all the way around to the end, then you have lost. Now, we can even take another one just because we're in panic mode right here. And it looks like we made it out. Ooh, I should have picked bridge. I just wasn't even thinking. Need another bridge there. We have 3 roundabouts. I didn't need another one. But we could drop one here just because why not? Things do seem to be slowing down right there. And I'd rather not be the case. All right, we have just found a great reason to connect all these yellows. We're not going to connect them directly in. We have a million roads. We'll connect them all the way in as late as possible. So they can just take their direct run. In fact, maybe we'll even do this. Turn them all up. Connect them all. And there we go. We've got our yellow run. This has got 16 million more yellows than it really needs. So we will keep that in mind. You know, I guess we can connect these, but it's not even, doesn't matter. That's not what's going to end up killing us. We maybe did an overkill on the blues here. So I think I'm just going to bring one of them back at the very least. Maybe even this one too. Actually, no, I like the fact that more things connect to the roundabout later as opposed to having everything come from the same exit because it kind of ruins the point of the roundabout. So actually, let's put this onto that. So yeah, I like that better. They're giving us more purples up here. I wonder if we just connect the greens into the yellow path here so that the purples are a little bit more segmented. So now it's the greens and the yellows together, and I don't think that's too much of a problem. They're the ones taking the long road. Those guys are no longer connected, but I don't think we needed them in the first place. Another motorway, we'll take it. All right, these yellows are starting to become an issue. And in fact, I'm going to motorway them. I'm going to drop a motorway right here. In fact, I'm going to drop it right here. And I'm just going to say that all these yellows are no longer about going to that one that barely needs it. We're going to put all these yellows into this guy. And actually, we're just going to delete this connection completely because I think it was slowing down the greens as well. So it's just not worthwhile. I'd rather have it look like this. Yeah, greens should have a freeway. It should help the greens out a lot. The reds maybe need some help. Something to keep in mind here. The reds are kind of filling up. And do we have a bridge? No, we would have a bridge if we had not wasted it on another roundabout. These guys aren't fully scheduled, so even though this one's filling up, that's what you gotta check. Look and see, do you have any unscheduled cars? If you do, you're okay. This is worrisome. And I bet you we can combine these two reds right here and have them... what's the best way for them to get there, though? I don't want them to... I don't want them to cut off this, but we might just have to accept that. I don't like this four-way stop here that I just created, but I don't know what else to do about it. I do think this guy desperately needs more reds. We have a ton of reds right here. Ooh, I don't like this. I don't like that those just got scheduled. So I take that back. I don't like this. This is gonna go away. Instead, we have, you know, a good chunk of reds here that can join into this and then come out from here, and hopefully we can get away with having those reds service that guy and then completely disconnect these two so that that can be serviced exclusively by these bottom four. So this red, we can handle him real quick by these two who aren't even being used. This guy can turn in here. Now this green's in trouble. This green is in trouble and we need to fix that. So one of the ways we can is get a couple more of these greens in, and then we can connect a few greens into this system. Oh, we can drop out. That's nice. I didn't even realize I could drop that there. So we'll connect some greens in. So we have some more greens who can make it here. And I also think that they're going to be a little bit less blocked up. So I expect things to go better for them as I start back up the time. In fact, these guys aren't even getting scheduled, which is a good sign, because it means everybody's on their way. These guys building up just a little bit. And I think that's because, you know, we have another roundabout. This could be a place to drop one potentially. As it does seem a little full of congestion, but this one's certainly bigger. I think we need to make this a connection like that. I think that helps us out a lot. And we don't see as another three-way stop. You know, we just want connections to the roundabouts. And that should be nice. In fact, I think it almost helps to give it a little bit more space. We don't want them to get congested inside there. So we have another motorway. We have another motorway. That's important to keep in mind as we watch to see who's in trouble. Hopefully, these three guys can just service a circle mall, and that's not an issue. We'll put this guy on here, and we'll give back one red since one spawned. And maybe even... Nah, we can't really fit roundabout in there without messing with stuff, and I don't want to. It'll push us too far behind. This is not looking good, though. This is looking really, really congested. That can help out there. Don't love that. First thing I'm going to do is make sure those don't connect. But I think I'm just going to take two of the better blues from this and bring them in right there. I mean, I don't know how else we're going to service that. Still have a bunch. You know what? We can service it this way. I'm going to put these back on. I'm going to have a couple of these top blues, which aren't doing anything for their blue squad anyways. I'm going to have them come in here and then drop off here. And I think those two alone probably service that. Man, this is the thing that losses are made of. This right here, we can feel the loss coming because of this. And we could really use a bridge. So let's think about our motorways. Let's think. We got to take a pause and stop a guaranteed loss from happening. How do we use another motorway to make this less of a problem? So we need, let's see, we need to get reds to here. We need to get yellows all the way to here. We can make yellows not even connect to the system. Top yellows might need to connect. But the fact that these are all going to get there faster might make up for the fact that the other yellows aren't even there anymore. And now it's just greens and reds fighting with each other to make it to here and here. So is it possible to have that not even be the case? I don't think so. So I think that'll help us out a lot. I think it's going to take away a lot of congestion. We could just drop a motorway once we get one back. Currently one's like being deleted. Once it gets deleted, we'll have it back. We could use that to just drop the greens straight to where they want to go, because they're getting kind of filled as well. So we'll drop another roundabout. Not really sure we need it. This guy needs more help, so we'll just take this dude and drop him in, and all our blues are getting scheduled now, except for these guys down here. Don't really think we can add them in. Maybe for an emergency, we can take one of these guys in the process of getting this guy fixed. So he has 4 now. We're servicing him. And he is definitely threatening dying, so he is the focus. We have our another motorway back. So we might have to use it for yellows, which is crazy. Or we could connect these two. I don't love the idea of that. I'd really like to have a bridge. Wish I had that bridge, because then I could just connect this one more yellow. I love the idea of this isolated system, but I'm gonna connect them. Hopefully it doesn't get too jammed up with the additional servicing. This guy's in trouble, so he needs extra help, and we have tons of yellows. We can also just drop in a bunch of yellows. Let's do this. Let's do this. I don't love that. It's a little bit late for it, but let's just drop motorway right here so that any of these yellows up here can help with this guy instead. I think that's better overall. We're going to hurt a little bit because I didn't do that right away. In fact, we might even lose because I didn't do that right away. It's not ideal. I think for the first time in the game, we are going to slow down from max speed because we are getting to a tough spot. So this guy's dangerous. I think we might make it out alive. Yeah, I think we just saw that despawn. So now the systems are separate again. These guys will continue to be the panic for this as it needs to fill up. And I think we just have so many yellows up here. It's way more than this one guy needs. The only reason why it's even collecting any pins at all is because they do have a decently long way to run. But I feel better about that now. And we're just going to stack roundabouts to the ceiling. We have tons and tons of roads as well. So as I say that, I'm kind of just going to drop something right here. It felt like something could be spawning that might screw me up in these spots. I don't know if we'll see too much spawning anywhere anymore, but I am just going to drop roads. You'll never spawn a hotel over roads that are placed. And since I have tons of roads to spare, I might as well just drop a few around here. We have a big collection of reds. What are we going to do with our big collection of reds in case we ever need? I'll just connect them all, even though it doesn't really matter. Connect those yellows there. Okay, this blue is whining. Why is this blue whining when he has got a great collection of dark blues trying to connect to him? It doesn't seem like he should be whining. In fact, we don't have many more dark blues on the map. We have almost every dark blue connected to this this system. So why is it a whiner? That's a tough break. We can connect this guy just to get 2 more, but that's interesting. I'm afraid. See, the problem with connecting systems is you don't want to do something like maybe connect these dark blues in via passing through this stuff, because you connect too many little segments like that, and next thing you know, you have created a fully connected system where all of a sudden it starts scheduling cars from everywhere on the map because you just made some 2 connections that just, you know, combined 30 systems together. And now they're scheduling stuff that's running the entire map to get where it needs to go. Not what we want to see. We are worried about this reds. We just talked about maybe needing reds somewhere. It seems like this is where the reds will probably be needed. But man, I don't even know what to say about these purples. We have almost every single purple connected into feeding this guy up. There's 2 purples on the map that we don't have connected. Yeah, it's a little stuffy in here, but it could be so much worse, considering I would expect a bunch of other places to have bigger problems than this. This yellow having problems, most likely because these yellows are being serviced down here, are being sent down here. In fact, as I connected this house, they didn't even go here. They just instantly were sent to the all. So hopefully this doesn't kill us. It seems like we're gonna die here on one of these 2. We finally got a bridge. I feel like I've been wanting a bridge forever. Where is the best place to use the bridge though? I don't know. I don't know. This yellow could get connected in with the bridge, but I don't think that's enough to, you know, completely take the motorway away. This guy's finally good, which I like to see. I don't really know why. I don't feel like I connected that many more yellows to it. This guy can come up here, since he doesn't seem like he's being used. Might as well send his cars to this system. I tell you what, I straight up hate the purples right now. I don't understand why the purples are so whiny, considering I have almost every single purple connected to it. Okay, here's another purple who isn't connected to it. So at least I can understand why he's complaining a little bit more. I also have a motorway dropping, you know, almost directly in. Not a lot I can change about that. At some point, they might spawn something here. That could be tough, because we have really no way to connect. But hey, both those things stopped showing us an error. This guy instantly came back. I'm really afraid. I think if I'm going to connect these 2, it's going to require deleting the connection here. Because I just refuse to accidentally connect the whole system. So this is going to slow these guys down, but it's going to give us 2 purple houses instead of just 1 additional connection, which might end up saving the day for us. I guess we can connect that guy in there for this dude. These yellows are in trouble, probably because they're sharing up here. We have a bunch of unscheduled yellows here. Can we use them somehow to help us with our yellow problem? Maybe, because we can take these unscheduled yellows and put them on here. Since we added 3 yellows to this guy, we can afford to subtract 3 yellows from this guy. And even though they're taking the longest trip on the face of the absolute earth, it could be better than having nothing there at all. These reds are dying. That's not great. How did this red get connected there? We can take this red, connect into this system, which earns back another red over here, and then that red can go down right there. I don't like that this red found a way to make it into a terrible spot. Okay, this red needs help. The 3 aren't doing it for him. And here we go, our bridge. Our opportunity to use a bridge. Right there. Let's get those 3s going. Oh, we're going to die. This is it. We're probably going to die right up there. A new motorway is great, but it's a little bit too late. I think that yellow is going to kill us. So how could we possibly, in panic mode, not have that happen? Probably drop a yellow where there's 2 cars right here. I'm going to disconnect them from the other system. This is purely a panic move. 3 yellows right here. I'm not sure it's going to matter, because I think we're just going to lose the game. But assuming that those other yellows are slowing it down enough. You see these guys aren't even getting scheduled just because the yellows are coming from all the way across the map. So I never really should have done that in the first place. But hey, I tell you what, we get a 3722. That's not too bad. If we exit to the main menu here, we'll see that it's the best I've ever gotten here, a 3722. I just beat my record. It's a top 3% score on Los Angeles. So I tell you what, hey, we got our first top 10% score. There's a bunch of other maps that we can do, and so maybe I'll do them as well. I don't know if this was interesting to you. I know it could probably be a pretty long video to watch, but I like playing this game. I thought it was a good time. Maybe you guys watched the whole thing like somebody who loves Feer, and I'd appreciate that. And if you didn't, that's okay, because I had fun playing. So I'll see you guys later, and we'll see more maybe non-Rocket League stuff on the Feer Plus channel.